Tonight, the president addressed the crisis in Syria. President Barack Obama spoke to the American people from the East Room of the White House.
The big news coming out tonight, the president said that he put a pause on congressional deliberations to pursue a diplomatic solution to Syria.
I have therefore asked the leaders of Congress to postpone a vote to authorize the use of force while we pursue this diplomatic path. I'm sending Secretary of State John Kerry to meet his Russian counterpart on Thursday, and I will continue my own discussions with President Putin.
Now, this comes after Russia offered a proposal to avoid military action by having Syria turn over its chemical weapons. At the same time, the president said the strike is a decision that must be agreed upon alongside Congress.
Even though I possess the authority to order military strikes, I believed it was right, in the absence of a direct or imminent threat to our security, to take this debate to Congress. I believe our democracy is stronger when the president acts with the support of Congress. And I believe that America acts more effectively abroad when we stand together.
Now, the president went line by line, responding to every argument he's heard against a military strike in Syria. He said the use of chemical weapons is a danger to our national security. He stressed that the military action would not include a prolonged air campaign nor troops on the ground. Now, the latest polls show the country is split over military action in Syria. The majority of Americans do not want to see a strike.
Even politicians are split, including our Virginia delegation. 10 on your side's Art Kohn has been on Capitol Hill all day talking to our local lawmakers. Joins us now live. Art, what are they saying about the president's speech tonight?
Well, you know, it's interesting. In the president's remarks tonight, the president raised the question asking that those who traditionally lean to the right and advocate a strong military, how could they reconcile advocating that we do nothing in response to Assad's use of chemical weapons? Well, our own 4th District Congressman Randy Forbes is one of those individuals who traditionally leans to the right and does advocate for a strong national defense. So we thought he would be a good place to start to find the Republican response to the president's speech.
Earlier today, the Secretary of Defense admitted that the most significant thing in terms of detriment to our national defense were all the cuts that the administration has taken to national defense, reducing our F-22s, cutting $778 billion, trying to cut our cruisers out, our aircraft carrier strike groups out. And so I think if the president really wants to make it safer for our children, he should stop dismantling the military and start rebuilding it.
As a result of, while we're looking into this offer that Russian President Putin has made as far as getting Assad to turn over his cache of chemical weapons, the vote in the Senate that was supposed to take place has been delayed now. We don't know when that may take place, whether it'll be the next couple of days. Do you think the House may take this up in a vote maybe next week?
Art, I don't think so. The reason the Senate delayed the vote is very clear. They didn't have the votes to pass this. I think if the vote were taken today, possibly even next week, I think the president would have had an overwhelming bipartisan thumping on this issue. They knew that. They had to buy some option to get out of that, and I think that's why they're delaying the vote.
Now, of course, the president said tonight that he's asked for a delay in this in order to give the diplomatic process a little more time to take place. And it's interesting because another diplomatic effort is taking shape in the House. 2nd District Congressman Scott Ridgell told us today that he and other members of the House have signed on to a resolution calling for an international tribunal to charge Assad with war crimes. So we're going to see how that plays out. We're going to try to talk more with him tomorrow, as well as our own Congressman Bobby Scott, who at his Labor Day picnic told me that he too was interested in exploring what the legal process would be if in fact Assad had violated the international ban on chemical weapons. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, Art Kohn, 10 on your side.